Thanks for joining us for the Member xCite presentation. The Member xCite presentation is informative, interesting to the audience, and showcases the strengths of the presenter as an entrepreneur and their area of expertise. It's not a sales pitch, it's a 10-minute educational and insightful exploration into what they do. And of course, it's exciting.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our xCite presenter today, Tom Adam from Canberra Martial Arts and Fitness, to present to us on how the double diamond will change your business for the better. One of the hardest parts of building a business is making sure that your products and services are something that people not only want to purchase but repurchase again and again. Using the double diamond and consumer-centric design, we can make this happen. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Tom Adam.
Most of you know me as a martial arts instructor, but I am not just a martial arts instructor, as I had to point out to somebody the other day. I actually have an Executive Masters of Business Administration from RMIT, focusing on design thinking and human-centered design. But I'm just a martial arts instructor, which is cool. We all have a passion. So the presentation I'm doing today is on human-centered design, and because I'm trying to keep to the thing. So what I've done is I've admitted that my handwriting is terrible. I'm much better with the presentation type thing. So I apologize now. All right. So everybody knows that every business needs to start with a purpose, right? And so what's your purpose apart from making profit? Everybody has a purpose for doing it. You all had a passion. We all found something we thought was really cool, and we went, okay, I'm going to do that, right? Okay. So what's after purpose? You would know this one, Steve. Oh, just the process. Fantastic. But sometimes how you do things is more important than actually the thing itself, is it not? You know, because if you have a really, really awesome product, but how you made it is crap, it's going to fall apart. All right, what's after the process?
People. Execution.
Oh, the result. My gosh, people. Okay, cool. All right, just because it sells doesn't mean it's actually worth it. And so we all have things in our lives that we do, and we all have things that we have a result. But sometimes when we actually produce something and we don't have a proper reason for doing it, and proper purpose and an actual idea of how to do it properly, we end up with a product that isn't quite what our customers need. Anybody had a customer you've worked with for a while and you got to the end and you're like, they just didn't gel, it just didn't work no matter what you did? Didn't get it? Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to steal from Simon Sinek. Anybody know Simon? If you don't know Simon Sinek, you can Google him later. All righty. Okay, so everybody knows this one? What's it famous for? Which company does he use? He talks about Apple. Yeah, okay. And so the reason he uses this model is basically when you're going through it here, and yet my handwriting is terrible. I wrote porpoise the other day when I was trying to write this too. Have a good giggle about that. The process and then the outcome. But what he says is really important. A lot of people focus on, I'm actually going to use the pen as the product. A lot of people focus on this. They say, I've got a pen. You need a pen. I'm going to sell you a pen. But what Apple does really well is they do it the other way around. What they say is, we know that you want to be able to write presentations and not have blue stuff on your hand when you finish doing your thing. You want to have clear written words when you do it. So we've taken the best designers and the best products and we've put together the pen. And here's the pen. And so what they do is they focus on explaining to you and selling to you what you already know, because they've gone through the process of figuring out the why, the how, and then the what. And most of the people that we deal with deliberately start with the what, like immediately. And I'll go through an exercise with you right now. Okay, so really quick. Has anybody heard of the double diamond? No? Okay, you have. I know you have. Okay. All right, so the double diamond is an approach to design. Is an approach to developing solutions. Now, I'm just going to double check I didn't. Yeah, cool. All right, so when you get slides back to the front. Yeah, I wrote notes. I've got to tear it off early. So what the double diamond does is it goes through a process of looking at how do you take a step back from the problem that you've got currently. And I'll go through an exercise with you guys in a minute. It will make sense. How you doing? Welcome, Vincent. Okay. All right. So there's 4 stages to the double diamond. What we've got discovery or discover. And through the discover process, you actually go about actually finding out a lot more. I'll take you through it in a second. The next part of that is, after that divergent process, is to define. And so part of the defining process, yeah, my handwriting, yeah, look, my drawing sucked. Look, I admitted that when I wrote the presentation the other day. Part of that process is once you've defined it, you actually come to the problem statement. But you come to it in a better way. All right, the next stages after that are to develop and test, or otherwise known as ideation, but that's a big wanky designer term that nobody uses. And finally, you've got deliver, and then after that, everybody forgets sell. Because you can deliver a product, but if you can't sell it, there's no point building it, is there? Cool. All right, let's do an exercise. Everybody will do this really quickly. Theatrical with the paper, isn't it? Okay, so in your mind, let's do this exercise really quickly. I'm on time. Okay. If I said to you really quickly, I need something that holds 350 mils of water. Are you picturing something in your mind? Everybody, every one of you are. But did you think, is it cold water, hot water? Is it actually water? Do I need to transport it? Does it need to be portable? Does it need to sit somewhere? Does it need to have a lid on it? Does it need, to have hot or cold fluids in it? This is part of the process. Humans are really good, and anybody who's married, they know that we all do this. Someone brings you a problem, you try to solve it. You don't ask questions, you sort of go, how can I help? Yeah, we all have experiences like that too. Okay, but part of that process is, with the design thinking, the human-centered design, is taking a step back from the problem, because if you solutionize the problem, you get poor products and what else? Poor results and unhappy customers. Because if you brought me the thing that you thought, but you said you needed something that holds 350 mils of fluid, and you bring it to me, well, that's not what I wanted. Doesn't do what I need to do, because you have to take it back a step. So let's go through really quickly. Take a back step or two. All right, so the first part of that double diamond process on the way up is using divergent thinking. So what you need to do, and it sounds really daunting, but to be honest, you can actually do this with a team of people. I've done it before, and it literally was 5 hours over a week. The whole process from beginning to end of this to develop new products when you do it. The first process is discovery. And what you're going to do is you're going to have engagement maps. And engagement maps and network maps is another way of using the same expression. Is basically you look at every single interaction that your customer has with other people and things around your product or your potential products. If you've got an idea for a product, even if you're redoing a product, looking at all their connections. Who are they related to? Who do they deal with? Who are their connections? Like with BX here, we don't look at the people that are in the room, we look at their connections. We see you all as network hubs, and you're all connected to thousands of people going out through that. So looking at those connections. Then we start to go through experience journeys. I'm doing this on the quick. If I go through the proper presentation, it makes sense. You go through and you map out an experience. Anybody been to the movies? Yeah, we all have, When do you start the experience of going to the movies? What? That's right. Actually, before that, when you think about it. And so, everybody goes, book the ticket. Yeah, but how did you get to booking the ticket? I had an app on my phone. How did you get the app on your phone? So part of the experience journeys is you go through things. So we did one with Hoyts a couple of years ago. They took on board some of our suggestions. Some of them, the whole buying your popcorn after you get there. So buy your ticket online and then line up to buy your popcorn. They still haven't got their head around that, how to make that a better process. And the app's rubbish, but we did give them feedback. NAB took on our suggestions though. So some of the things that we did, this is back in 2016, 17. So what you do is you map out everything. So when you go to the movies, it's not just, I'd like to go to the movies. I'd look up the movie tickets of what company, whatever it is, go to their website, might buy online. Then I get in my car or I catch the bus and I go to where the cinema is. I get out of my car or I get out of the bus. I walk to the cinema. I go up to the front thing. I find my ticket. I line up to buy my popcorns. And then you start to map out the experiences. And then you've got this big pool of data. It seems like a lot, but it's really not. We start to use those experience journeys and network maps to define things. So I like to use the analogies of roses, thorns, and buds. And what you do is you go through these experiences that people have done and you look at every touch point, products, things, processes, websites, people, whatever the experience is. It could even be the step that they have to trip over on the way in. You have to have all of these things as part of the experience. Then we start to look at the roses, the thorns, and the buds. What was good about an experience? What was bad about an experience? And what has the potential for better? Okay? And so when you go, it's like I'm talking to my kids. Okay, kids. Okay, so When you go through these, you start to develop a whole map of all these potential things. And when you start to group those together, you start to see, when you start to group things together, what do you start to see? You get different things, but patterns. All right. Out of those patterns, start to form a bunch of questions. And those actually are your problem statements. So instead of saying, okay, you asked for 350 mils of water, you've taken it back a step. You've looked at how we're going to transport it, how we're going to sell it. Does it come from a larger container to a smaller container? Are you going to be on-selling it? Is it wholesale? Is it retail? All the different experiences that you get from there, which brings you back to... I will clean this up. Don't worry. Yeah, I'll recycle it. Don't worry. You are here at the problem statements. So we're just here now. And so part of the human-centered design process is people immediately, now, next time somebody says to you, hey, have you got something that can handle 350 mils of fluid, you're going to start to ask questions. And I've run out of time, but I'll keep going. I can pay another fine, mate. Really quick. The final stage is now you can start to solutionize. Now you can go through your develop and deliver and test and ideation and things like that. But you have better questions, better problem statements that start with how might we and what if we, but you have something that's misspelled here, context. Okay, my daughter thought it was really funny that I spelled it wrong like that. Cool. All right, where to next? So I do this, actually I've done this for people, but every time I started doing this as a proper business, the COVID hit. All right, so I'm looking forward to starting next year and causing another lockdown when I do it. But if you do have a product or a service that has been hitting a few barriers, this process is really good to get someone like myself or someone else that you know to go through and do it as an objective process, because what you'll do is you'll uncover a lot of the things that you know and that you don't know, but you'll actually do it in a fun way as well. And so part of this process of going through the double diamond, it's about 5 hours with your teams over a week. And it's really cool. When I've done it with people is that they've said, the things that they've said is they didn't have to worry about taking the notes on the day. They didn't have to worry about putting it all into a document, because if you do this by yourself, it's daunting. It's massive. If you leave me alone in a war room and every day you guys come in and spend an hour with me and then go out, and then the next day you come in and do the next bit and then go out, you come in and you see the evolution of how the process goes. And at the end of it, you have better products that your customers are more likely to buy. And I've used this for my own business, and I went from 4 or 5 years ago, $7,000 a month to now we're averaging, or at the moment, let's not count post-COVID. Before COVID, we're averaging about $40,000 to $50,000 a month just in cut for products and services. Cool? Cool. That's design thinking or human-centered design. Thank you so much, guys.